How's everybody doing? This is Rashad Woods. This is my second edition to the Black Guys Guide to Movies. Today I had the pleasure of watching The Secret in Their Eyes, the 2009 Argentinian film that won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film in the 2010 Academy Awards. I didn't actually get a chance to hear about it when it came out, but now that I've got a chance to see it, I have a whole new appreciation of why it won the awards and the accolades that it received. One of the best parts about this film is you could easily see this was almost something that Hitchcock would have done 40 or 50 years ago. What was so amazing about this story was how the characters were so well written, and the intense moments didn't have overbearing loud music. They didn't have something where a loud shriek suddenly meant that there was going to be some sort of climactic moment, so to speak. The tension was in small, quiet scenes where characters had a certain look in their eyes and were talking to the other respective characters. Just to give you a quick background on the film, essentially a murder takes place of a young wife in Argentina, and now they're trying to figure out the man that was responsible for it from an old retired court lawyer. He may not even been a lawyer, but he was in the legal system. He uses the best tools possible, even if they're illegal, to find out who exactly murdered this woman. It's told in flashback, which sometimes can be a detriment to a lot of films because a lot of times films are using overuse of it for the sake of doing it. What I mean by that is they're often cut back and into the present to be sort of hip and cool with a lot of fancy editing. I'm sure you've all seen some of those films. It's not something that's enjoyable to sit through. I, for one, can't stand it when it's overused. But what was most amazing about this film was that the characters were so well written and they interacted, and it showed a different legal system that you might not be accustomed to in a different country. It's not so much as a whodunit, because that's revealed somewhat early into the film, and you have a good idea. So it's not a case of we're going to take 20 people in a lineup and then we're going to line them up one by one and find out their motive or find out what they were doing at a respective time. It's more or less a why done it. And then more importantly, the conclusion to it all. The way that the story develops is they eventually are able to pinpoint the exact moments of what led to this poor woman's demise and how the legal system can actually be a detriment to be working in it, because you have to work in the confines of rules. But what made the film so amazing, and I actually just watched it with my wife, was that there was an intricate love story between two adult characters. And what made this story so amazing was they didn't cheapen the film with the emotions of these characters. What I mean by cheapening it, they didn't suddenly have a gratuitous sex scene between the two characters. No, this was a real tense moment that they were looking to solve a case, and they understood the seriousness of the task at hand to do their jobs. And they didn't cheapen the film, somewhat similar to what Jackie Brown did when they had Pam Grier and Robert Forster in there. They took two mature characters and they said, listen, even though they have emotions for one another, they have to set that aside for the greater good of what they're looking to accomplish. And even when they didn't kiss, or even when they didn't have overt emotions with one another, it was so captivating to see an actual mature relationship develop on screen. I thought that was very good writing on behalf of the writer and the direction of the director. And the scenes that were tense moments, what made them so amazing was it didn't involve cheap cuts. It was natural lighting. It was slight angles. There's a really good scene, for instance, when the main character and his assistant, Sandoval, actually gets a chance to go inside of the house of the mother of the suspect. And the way that this scene is filmed is they have up-close shots of what you think could be a tense moment, and it turns out that it's not. It was easily about a 2 hour, 15-minute film, but I'll tell you what, it certainly didn't feel that long. I got to honestly give this film 4 out of 4 do-rags. The Secret in Their Eyes, if you get a chance to watch it, I know sometimes people can look at foreign films and kind of roll their eyes and say that's not something I want to sit through, but I'm hooked. I'm a fan, and I'm going to look for more films by this respective director, because I'll tell you what, it opened my eyes to some things that I didn't get a chance to see. And I'm looking forward to sending the next anthology of this concluding series. I hope you guys stick with me as I grow and learn some other things to talk about when it comes to films. And again, if you have some recommendations, I'd absolutely love to hear your input as well, too. This is Rashad. Catch The Secret in Their Eyes. Phenomenal film. Deserves every award that it got. Have a good night.